Another thing that's true that people are having a hard time processing, the Commanders are in the thick of things in the NFC playoff chase. We talked earlier this week how it's quite possible every team from the AFC East is getting in and every team from the NFC East could get in. Right now, the Commanders are just outside the 7th seed, but they got to 5-5 on Monday night with that upset win over the Philadelphia Eagles. Here's Ron Rivera on the factors that he will consider when determining the starting quarterback once Carson Wentz is healthy again.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at the momentum. You have to look at, what the mood of the team is. Obviously, there's a lot of factors that go into it, John. A lot of things that I'll have to discuss with Scott and Kenny for that matter. You look at what is best for the team, and at the end of the day, that's how it has to be. There's a great saying that you treat everybody the same, you treat everybody fair, but you treat everybody according to the team, and that's what this is about. So the decision being made will be about the team first and foremost. And one thing that I've always done is whoever the starter is, I'm going to commit to them fully. Because I don't want them looking over their shoulder. I want them to understand this is the opportunity and this is where we're going with it. So whatever the decision is made after, my conversations today and tomorrow morning, that's what we're sticking to.
Well, that's easier said than done because, again, it's hard to reconcile what's best for the team with making the starting quarterback believe that he's the guy and he's not looking over his shoulder. It's best for the team that he's not looking over his shoulder, but at some point it may be best for the team to go to the other guy. If you're guided by what's best for the team, if the guy is urinating and or defecating down his leg, you go to the other guy. So, I don't know why we're even having this conversation. How is it not Taylor Heinicke?
No, that's the point,
Is he just being
Mike.
respectful to Carson Wentz?
I don't know.
Why are we even talking about this?
That to me is the point. That is exactly right. I would just want to go, well, everything you just said there is Taylor Heinicke. So stop delaying it and making this a little bit more of an issue than it is. And I know Ron Rivera. He's going to come out today, and it's going to get squashed. I mean, he is going to make some. He was referring to today, right? As far as a decision he's going to make here, but.
Well, somebody's getting the reps. Somebody's getting the reps in practice, right?
Right. Well, and is Carson Wentz officially cleared? Is that official to where he can start practicing? I wasn't sure if it was 100%. I thought there was maybe another week here. He was going to have to wait. But yes, he's not cleared yet.
He is not cleared yet.
Right.
So decision doesn't have to be made until he's cleared.
No, but to your point.
That's the other thing, too. He's just not cleared. The 100% rule.
Right.
He's not healthy.
Right.
He's not. Just have the doctor mess with that finger enough to give him a little setback, and he won't be cleared for another couple of weeks.
Well,
it
can buy you some more time decision.
Right.
And, maybe to read this.
And it makes it easier for the decision to be made if Taylor Heinicke all of a sudden doesn't have it anymore. Then you're not really benching him. He's just no longer as hot as he was, so we got to flip it back to Carson Wentz. I mean, if you can milk this injury as long as you can while Heinicke's playing well, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, well, yes. And I would think, again, that they got Houston and Atlanta on the schedule, definitely winnable games for them to where they're the more talented team on the field. There's no question about that. The only thing that can hurt the Commanders is their offensive line, and we're seeing they're playing better as of late. I mean, they've won 3 out of 4, and 3 out of 4, and really should be 4 out of 4. Outplayed your Minnesota Vikings, and I don't mean that in any disrespect. I'm not trying to play. They outplayed them. They just made some vital mistakes at the very end of the game. Heinicke had a wide open receiver down the middle, threw the ball 5 feet over his head. It's just one of those things. So, but I'm with you, Mike, that I wouldn't even make this a conversation right now. And, why can't you go back? Why don't you just say Taylor Heinicke right now, believe in it, go with it? If he plays like crap the next 3 games and you go into your bye week, then you make the switch. No one's going to sit here and go, oh, man, they benched Taylor Heinicke. What's going on there in Washington? But I think it's clearly that he's the guy right now.
But I really do think there's a way to finesse this if you're Ron Rivera, where you push it back, you keep going for Taylor Heinicke, and it'll either resolve itself in a negative way for Heinicke or a positive.
Yes,
he'll keep playing well or he won't. But when you peek ahead here, like you said, they're at Houston this week, then they have the Falcons at home, then it's at the Giants going into their bye. And, maybe the idea is just ride it out with Heinicke. They should win the next 2. If they beat the Giants or at least don't embarrass themselves against the Giants, then maybe it's Heinicke coming out of the bye. Out of the bye, it's not easy.
Yeah.
They got the Giants sandwich.
Yeah.
They got Giants by Giants. Then at the 49ers, who, boy, good luck with that. The Browns, at home, and then Week 18 against the Cowboys. So there's some tough. And remember, the Browns by Week 17 are going to have Deshaun Watson. So there's some tough games. They got two winnable games. I don't want to call them easy because the Texans aren't horrible. The Texans could beat them. The Texans have not been embarrassed yet.
No,
in any
they
game.
were tied at halftime versus the Eagles, like we discussed. You're right. They're not. And
so
Washington hasn't shown us the prowess to blow anybody out, right? Just like the Giants.
And it's just going to get tough. The last 5 games are going to get tough. Giants twice, Cowboys, 49ers, Browns with Deshaun Watson. That it's going to be hard for them to hold it together.
Yeah. I mean, it's we're going to see if they're legit. We're going to see if they're playoff worthy. You know, I do think they're a team that is got a lot of playoff caliber traits. When you got a defense like that, like we talked about yesterday, that D line, there's no team in football that the Washington Commanders will play they're going to go in a game and go, oh, no, we're just outmatched up front on the defensive line. We can't stop the run. We won't be able to rush the passer. Nobody. They can almost dominate every offensive line in football. They're that special up there. We know they got weapons. They're kind of creative. Heinicke's got a little magic about them. Now they're running the ball a little bit. I could see them making a little run here and making this real interesting and, making that second team in the NFC West a little nervous here about, oh, gosh, we got to keep winning football games as the 49ers or the Seahawks because, Washington, the Giants, and the Cowboys are all, in the thick of things in the NFC East.
It's going to be a fun ride over the next 8 weeks.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know how many years it's going to take for me to get used to this 17th game. And probably by the time I get used to it's going to happen. There's going to be an 18th.
Well, it's just amazing how one extra game makes the season feel like there's a little more wiggle room for mistakes and like just getting your feet underneath you as a football team. It's really amazing that it's changed the perspective like that, where now September was always crucial, and now it's like we added an extra game, and everybody's like, well, we can take a few weeks of kind of like preseason, regular season football in September. Just because of one game, and I don't know. I'm literally trying to figure it out why it's like that, but it is fascinating.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.